And so it felt like I woke up one day and I just realized, like, holy I've traded my 9 to 5 for a 24/7.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. It is very lovely to have you here. Today we are diving into a topic that is very near and dear to our hearts, right? It's the old age debate of 9 to 5 versus entrepreneurship. In this modern world where we are bombarded by success stories on social media about people quitting their day jobs to pursue their dreams of entrepreneurship, it is no wonder why we are torn between the stability of pursuing a traditional 9 to 5 and the allure of being our own boss. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Before we delve into the nitty-gritty of this video, I want us to take a moment to acknowledge the elephant in the room, which is the perception game. It is no secret that often we glamorize entrepreneurship as the ultimate path to success, as we see all over social media. And we paint 9 to 5 as this soul-sucking and limiting field that diminishes our dream. But is this really the reality in the modern day, in the modern world that we live in? I want to explore that in this video. So I want to start by exploring the 9 to 5 model. There are many advantages, I believe, about having a 9 to 5, and also there are disadvantages of having a 9 to 5. So I want to start by talking about the, disadvantages that causes a lot of people to fall for this idea of entrepreneurship being the most glamorous way of us to really live our full life, and potential in this world. So a lot of people see 9 to 5 as creating a lack of flexibility, as well as diminishing our creativity. And especially on social media, it's portrayed as this, as I said previously at the beginning of this video, soul-sucking, thing that means that people do not follow their passions or do not follow, their dream of what, their purpose is in this life. And often, especially by these entrepreneurs on social media, often pushing the narrative as you not living up to your dreams and you being, less than in a way. And we see this a lot, this idea that having a 9 to 5 is, you're an average Joe, you're not doing anything with your life. And this causes a lot of people to fall into that trap of, okay, I feel like I need to get up and hustle, get up at 4 a.m. like everyone's telling me to do, and really follow my passion of entrepreneurship. And, even though I don't know what I really want to do, or I don't know if I want to be independent, I'm gonna do it anyways. I feel like the meaning of the 9 to 5 career has become so popular, especially within this decade, and especially within this last 10 years. It's just this idea that you're not fulfilling your potential, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in life, and hence, you're just being lazy. And there's this idea that people who do a 9 to 5 are lazy people as well, which is crazy to me, right? Especially like having a 9 to 5. I'm gonna talk about the advantages. Having a 9 to 5, the trenches you have to go to sometimes to even land a nice, well-paying 9 to 5. I wouldn't consider anyone doing a 9 to 5 lazy because they want to provide for their family. They want to provide for themselves, and they want to give back to a society. And this is why I want to talk about the advantages of having a 9 to 5, which is one, of course, stability. Having a check coming to your account every month without fail, and it's the same amount, is it's the ideal for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want this glamorous lifestyle. They don't want to be hustling and getting different checks or different payments every month. They want that stability, especially those who have, let's say, kids, or who provide for someone. And the other advantage is that it has a lot of benefits. For example, having a 9 to 5, the protection that you, for example, get with your employer, whether that is, sick leave, or whether that is, annual leave. And, there's, for example, in the US, there is, the benefit of having your healthcare taken care of as well, and your retirement plans. For example, in the UK, we have pensions, and in the US, they have, I believe, the 401k. So there are all those benefits. And I currently work a 9 to 5 that allows me to, just shut off after 5 and come home and be with my boyfriend and chill, and schedule my other fun activities, going to the gym after those times. Those are immense benefits that people try to avoid when they try and say, oh, you need to be an entrepreneur and so on. So now I want to delve into the idea of entrepreneurship and the glamour associated with entrepreneurship. There is this allure, I learned a new word, of entrepreneurship, such as the idea of entrepreneurship brings, autonomy. So you being able to have a say over what you want to do with your life, rather than someone else controlling what you should do with your life. It also brings this glamour of the unlimited earning potential of pursuing entrepreneurship. And I want to talk about that point specifically because I consider myself a person who is an entrepreneur, as well as a person who loves to who has a regular 9 to 5 also. So if you all know, I started my personal training business called Confines, and I started that business in Jan of 2022. And me, I have a passion for fitness, especially making women feel fit and strong within themselves. And I started this business just to, show that I can pursue my dream of entrepreneurship and, not do a 9 to 5. And for a while, it was all fun. Like when it first started, you get that sensation of I'm gonna do well in this business, which I believe is true. I have that passion, I'm like pursuing it, but then you get this burnout, right? Because especially with personal training, when you're starting, you have a lot of clients, and then you have to manage it yourself, making sure that everything is good, the programming is good. And when I first started, within like 2 months, I was already managing more than 10 clients. So it was like, okay, how long can I keep this solo game for? And at that time I was doing my university stuff as well, so it became really overwhelming for me to do it by myself. And the income, like 1 month it'll be really high, the next month you have to do a lot of consultation, you might not get the amount of profit that you want. So the stability it wasn't there for me, right? And that's what you need to understand. like stability with a 9 to 5 is a thing that a lot of people tend to steer away from, right? They don't talk about, 1 month it can be really high, your profits, and 1 month it can be really low. So yeah, that that business for me, I end up like dissolving it, because for me, if you watch my other videos, I I need to be able to find a stable income to provide and pay my rent, right? Every month. And I got that from a 9 to 5. So I found something that I was passionate in, and I applied for that career, and I ended up getting it, and so on and so forth. So it shows that, it's good. I feel like it's amazing to pursue your dream. Of course, go for it. Pursue what you love. And I'm still like, even now, I'm literally in the midst of starting another fitness business. For me, like, the business I want to go into is like a global business that's going to help loads and loads of people, which I will be talking about, like, maybe at the end of this year or even next year, depending on how I feel. I'm not putting any pressure on it. So yeah, but let me not divert. I just feel like the glamour of entrepreneurship, of course it brings an autonomy. Of course it brings, as we can see from many people with, like, for example, Gymshark, it brings unlimited earning potential that of course a 9 to 5 might not be able to bring, and the ability to pursue your passions as well. But there's also this downside of the lack of flexibility. If you're pursuing entrepreneurship, just know you're not going to decrease the hours you work. You're going to be working 24 hours. You're not, especially at the beginning, you're not going to have that flexibility or that stable income. You will work long hours, and it will be a high level of stress that you might not necessarily get from pursuing a 9 to 5. So those are just the things I want to, talk about in terms of this side of the topic. I believe why entrepreneurship has become so glamorized is because of this prevalence of the hustle culture that is very pushed by, of course, social media. This idea that if you want to be your better self, if you want to, escape the 9 to 5, if you want to have more money than you've ever had, if you want to, be free, they tend to use a lot of entrepreneurs, all these, I believe these cult entrepreneurs online. If you want to pursue freedom and be your freest self, it's just so portrayed and pushed on by social media that it's created this, I believe, what is called this toxic hustle culture, that you should not be resting, and it's bad to rest. You know what I mean? And this hustle culture, I believe, is affecting a lot of people's mental health, as well as work balance, and even down to the relationship we have with our peers. Especially with entrepreneurship, there's this idea that you need to do it solo. You need to be in solitude, that people who aren't coming with you, they should stay back. You don't need to have friends. You need to pursue this alone. That's the only way you're gonna, that's the only way you're going to survive. That's the only way you're going to make it, if you go alone. And this idea of solitude and, hustling alone, it's made a lot of people lose sight, I believe, of what life is all about, which is about companionships, having different relationships, living living a life of peace. You know what I mean? And if anyone has, ever run their own business, I don't believe peace is what comes to mind, because I have, you know. Peace is not what comes to mind, especially when I was running my business. It's all about that client. They messaged me, oh, what am I gonna bring next? You're always chasing for the next thing, the next best thing. So is this idea that entrepreneurship, especially when portrayed by social media, brings this idea that you can never rest. You need to be better than everyone else. You need to be, a solitude person unless you're not going to succeed. And it's diminishing a lot of people's life. I'm going to play this video just to show you what happened to a woman that was pursuing, this hype of entrepreneurship.
And because I didn't know it was enough, like I said, I just kept pushing for more, to the point where I broke. I couldn't handle this scale anymore. This business had turned into something that I didn't even recognize anymore. And suddenly I was in this hamster wheel. And because I had this team and I had all this responsibility, it felt like I couldn't stop. And so it felt like I woke up one day and I just realized, like, holy shit, I've traded my 9 to 5 for a 24/7.
Burnout is definitely, one of the greatest pitfalls of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship often makes you feel restless with the hustle that you need to keep, doing. You need to continue doing in order to see success. You know what I mean? And success, I feel like, from social media, especially with social media, is defined by the amount of money you have, the materialistic things you have. And success for a lot of us can mean so many different things. For some of us, success can mean, just living a peaceful life, having a nice, farm where you just walk around, feed your chickens, or, peacefulness can mean, just having a peaceful 9 to 5 where you are able to provide for your family. You can go on holiday. You can, success can mean a lot of things for different people. And I believe, social media has, tampered the way we see success. And I believe it's important for us to find this balance of self-care and, working, and set boundaries for ourselves. Like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, what are the boundaries that you're going to set for yourself, right? If you want to pursue a 9 to 5, what are the boundaries are you going to set for yourself? For example, with me, like, I do want to be an entrepreneur and I still do want to have a 9 to 5. Like, those, I believe I can do it all. I'm superwoman, but there are some boundaries I need to set for myself. For example, in entrepreneurship, I should set myself like hours I'm going to work. That's a boundary. For entrepreneurship, for example, a 9 to 5, I should set myself boundaries. For example, not doing a job that is beyond, what I believe I'm capable of doing, or not burning myself out, etc. So set boundaries for yourself, and remember that you are the most important, person in your life, as well as other family members in your life also. I want to end this video by encouraging you to consider, what are your own values, right? Do you want to pursue this hustle lifestyle of entrepreneurship, or do you want to follow your passion, maybe in the 9 to 5 field? If you want to do both like me, that's fine also, but it's important to find that balance, right? Find that balance and set those boundaries. But yeah, I want to end it here. So yeah, guys, thank you for listening to me talk on this amazing microphone, and I'll see you in the next video.